Hi, this is Carl Polachek with Small Biz Thoughts, and this is another SOP video for managed service providers. Today we're going to talk about vendor management. So first of all, what is a vendor? Well, a vendor is anybody who provides something to your end user client in terms of hardware, software, or services. So it might be Microsoft, it might be Intermedia, it might be HP, 3Com, anybody that you would deal with who helps this client get their business done. So the client's going to buy something from this other organization, or maybe they're going to buy it through you, but you're going to manage that relationship. And what does that mean? The first piece of vendor management is registering hardware, software, and services in the client's name. You need to have a good policy and a good process for this. I think it's very important that you use, in our case, we use the administrator password, so administrator@client.com, as the registration for hardware, software, and services. That way, no matter what happens, the client can sell their business to somebody else, they can hire a different office manager, they can have a different administrator, they can even have a different IT person, and they'll be able to go into that email, request a password change, check the email, get the new password, manage that hardware, software, and service. It's very important that you do it this way because it's the right thing to do. The client owns the software, the hardware, or the services, and it should be in their name. So you can control it all as long as you're the one who has access to that administrator email. The second thing you do in vendor management is to provide translation services. In other words, you translate between geek speak and business talk. When someone's talking about their services and why it's very important that somebody move to the next level and whatever, the client won't understand a lot of that conversation, but you will. So talking geek to geek, you understand what they're trying to sell the client, and then you can give advice about what they should really do going forward. This helps your relationship with your client. Number 3, when actual technical support is required, you can speak geek to geek. You can get things done much more quickly. You can get elevated to the next level more quickly. You always want to get tech support from somebody who knows more than you do. Well, for the client, that's anybody, but for you, it might be at least 1 or 2 notches up the ladder. So you're going to get faster support, you're going to get better support because you're talking technical to technical rather than business to technical. That translation comes in very handy. Number 4, you're going to manage all the information around this. You're going to document everything, especially in the days of cloud services. Holy smokes, I can't believe how many people have no idea where their domain is registered, whose name is on it, where their software is registered. Nothing. They have no information. They don't even know who provides their email or where their website is housed. That's ridiculous. So you need to document all that stuff, keep it in good order, and that way you've got records about what you did and didn't do in the past, when you updated licenses, all kinds of stuff. You've got that information and you have it at your fingertips as long as you keep it in a binder or somewhere where you've got it available to you. If you have it electronically, that's great. Make sure there's a copy on the client's server. Next question though, are you on the clock? How do you know whether or not you're charging the client for something? Well, with vendor management, most of the time it's going to be very minimal. There's not going to be a lot of time involved. But here's an easy thing you can do to make sure that you're getting paid for what you do. First of all, require that all hardware and software be under a maintenance agreement. So whether it is the server and a hardware maintenance, or it is software and there's a license maintenance or a maintenance agreement, as long as it's covered, you can say, hey, as long as you're paying for that, I'm going to give you my labor at no additional charge, because it'll be a really quick fix. For hardware, you might even say, yeah, come fix your stuff. Or for software, you might be able to say, okay, send me the new licenses, I'll install them, whatever. But it's going to be really quick. You're not going to waste a lot of time. Then you draw that line, and if they don't have maintenance, if it's not under warranty, then you say, I'm sorry, I have to charge you for my labor to deal with vendors when that hardware and software is not under maintenance. So if there's no warranty, there's no maintenance agreement, then you can bill for your time. That's a nice line that you can draw. There are a handful of things where you might say, well, I expect, for example, to deal with the ISP, say, once every 3 years. Okay, so you're going to throw in a few hours, build that into your price of your managed services, and then it's just covered, right? Now, if you have a bad year and you have to deal with the ISP 3 times, well, that's a very unusual thing, and then it won't happen again for 5 years. Finally, there's the question of exactly how much control you have. Some people say, well, you should be able to hire and fire, and you should be able to choose the vendors and get rid of a line of business app and get another one. I think that that's unrealistic. I have dealt with some very big clients who spend lots and lots of money on their line of business app. They're not going to turn that over to me. They will engage me by the hour to help them understand a decision, to help them choose a new product, to help them get the new stuff in place and move databases and all that kind of stuff. But that's very different from choosing a product that costs them tens of thousands of dollars a year. So I don't even try to have total control of that relationship. But in terms of the big picture, I want to always be the one talking to their vendors about anything that's remotely technical, because that way I know that I've got it documented. I know that it was done a certain way, and I know that we can get back to where we were before if we need to. So take on vendor management, but document your processes and procedures and have a specific way that you're going to manage all that documentation. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Palachuk, wishing you all the luck in your managed service business.